Hey, what's up, guys? This is Team Rage here. I'm going to be doing a new Pokemon type video. I figured it'd be quicker if I did it through Pokemon Online since it takes forever to EV train. So he leads off with a Golem, and I start off with a Taunt, so he can't use Automize. And then he goes for the Stone Edge, but thanks to Prankster, I can Leech Seed him first. And then I just use Substitute and protect myself for a turn, and then his taunt is released. I'm stupid and use the taunt afterwards, thinking he was going to try and use Automize again. Then he goes for the Stone Edge. I lose over half my HP, and then he goes for a Stone Edge again, but I use Substitute, so I protect myself. I use it again, and then he goes for the Earthquake, which doesn't do much, so I go ahead and use Encore, since it won't do much to my Whimsicott, and my Substitute just faded. I use Substitute again, he goes for the Earthquake again, which doesn't do much again. Then I go in for... I think I just use Taunt or something again. No, I switch into my Gengar, but he switches into Druddigon, and then I'm like, huh, interesting. And then I don't know how much that thing's gonna do, but I go to do a Shadow Ball, I believe. Yeah, I take out over half its HP. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. He hits me with a Fire Fang. I'm like, ow. But then I gain health through Black Sludge. I think I go to do Shadow Ball again, and I think he switches. Yeah, he switches into an Exploud, which I'm like, what the heck? And then obviously Shadow Ball has no effect on normal types. And then... heck, I can't remember what I did next. I think I just tried to go for a Thunderbolt. Yeah, I went for a Thunderbolt and almost killed it. And then he used Zen Headbutt, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then Life Orb killed itself, so... right now we're tied, 5-5. He switches back into his starter, and I do too. And then I throw a Leech Seed, he uses the Stone Edge, and then I believe Leech Seed kills him right there after I switch into my Magnezone. I mean, my Ambipom, I believe. Yeah. Let's see. I go for the Fake Out, obviously, and then he flinches, and then Leech Seed kills him off from there. So, good revenge kill. He switches into... heck, I can't remember what he switched into. I can usually remember my battles easily. Oh, he switches into a Sock. I check its stats, and then I think I U-turn out of there. Yeah, I U-turn out of there, and I switch into my Magnezone, which he uses Bulk Up, and I'm like, oh, that's not nice. I use Discharge, hoping I'm faster, and then Sock just uses a critical hit close combat. I'm like, oh, wow. His defense stats drop, so I switch back into Ambipom, and I use Fake Out, and then he flinches. I use Low Kick. I mean, what was it? Fire Punch, yeah. And then hoping for a burn, but he uses close combat. Thank God it has Focus Sash. And then I use U-turn to get out of there again. Whenever he decides to make a move. I think he took for it. No, never mind. I use U-turn, and then I U-turn into my Cloyster, I believe. Yeah, I switched into Death, and he uses Earthquake, which doesn't do much because Cloyster has really high defense. Then I use Ice Shard to revenge kill, basically. He switches into... what's he switch into again? Oh, he switches into a Bronzong. I'm like, interesting. I don't normally see a Bronzong that's not a lead, so I'm like, how am I going to kill this thing? I just try see what he's going to do. So I use a Rock Blast. which thanks to skilling does 5 times, but it didn't do much. But he used Toxic, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. I used Shell Smash, and hoping I'm going to be strong enough to kill it. Then he goes for the Iron Defense. I'm like, wow. And obviously, Poison is taking its toll on my Cloyster. And I just keep going to Icicle Spear him, and his Iron Defense just keeps going up. I'm like, this is not good. I go for my Cloyster's last hit, since I know he won't survive another turn. So I send out Zoroark. I've already lost my Gengar cover-up, so it's not good. I go for the Nasty Plot, and he goes for the Toxic again. And then I go for the Flamethrower, which is going to kill Bronzong, because his special defense, on the other hand, hasn't rose at all. Then he switches into, let me see. He switches into something, and I kill it with Night Daze, I believe. Yeah, he switches into a Blastoise, and then I Night Daze it, and try to kill it with that. Almost does. And then he uses his Power Herb so he can go into Skull Bash. I'm like, that's dumb. And then I use Night Daze again to kill it. Then he switches into his last Pokemon, which is his Druddigon. And then I go for the Fake Out. And then I say good game to him, because obviously if he survives the Fake Out, I'm just going to kill it with something else, which it did. So I just went for the Low Kick, I think. How did I kill this thing? Yeah, I went for the Low Kick, because Druddigon's probably pretty heavy. And if I went for the Fire Punch, even burning it wasn't going to do anything, because if it survived that, I was going to lose. But yeah, guys, that was the Pokemon battle for online. Sure to check out Pokemon Online. It's really interesting. If you don't have the time to EV train, that's what you can do if you want to test out stuff before you waste all that time and make a bad team. So, thanks for watching, guys. Always subscribe, and I'll probably have more of these videos up soon. So, peace out, YouTube.